there's a group of women that were here and they're wishing to withdraw consent to use the footage that you had, I guess, gotten. So can you please make sure that is done and make sure that any of the stuff that they have...
We may or we may not use the footage. It is a public area, so we do have legal rights to use the footage.
But you interviewed them specifically, right? So
yes, and they gave us consent to interview them.
Well, now they're withdrawing it, so...
That's not how it works, but...
Which is interesting given the event that you're at, right? That's a little bit contradictory.
I mean, it's a little bit contradictory.
Well, if
I totally say it, that's not how it works.
Well,
you can't just withdraw consent the next,
Well, that's interesting.
Why is that interesting?
It's just, I don't know.
No. Tell me what.
A rally for rapists, consent and withdrawing consent, saying no means no. They're saying no, and you're saying that
Okay, so if someone gives consent the night before, and then they have listen. If they have sex with a man and they give consent to him, then the next day decide, oh, I regret it. I'm going to report him for being a rapist, even though I gave him consent. You're saying that's okay?
So you're sounding a little bit like a 12-year-old because this is irrelevant.
Okay, so they withdraw your consent and they request that the material not be used. It sounds like a dick move, but I understand if they don't want everyone to see that they are complete morons. If that is why they wanted to withdraw consent. They consented to and went through the interview without changing their mind during the interview, but regretted it afterwards and wanted to retroactively withdraw consent. Lauren tells them that you cannot withdraw consent retroactively. Lauren, is told that this is contradictory to how it works with consent to sex. The girl is comparing retroactively withdrawing consent to being interviewed and retroactively withdrawing consent to sex, despite the two being incommensurable, saying that they are equal. The girl, is asserting that you should be able to retroactively withdraw consent to an interview. She is also asserting that the same rules should be applied to interviews as to sex. This, of course, means that you should also be able to retroactively withdraw consent to sex. Lauren is pointing out that this is what the girl, is saying. The girl says that Lauren, is sounding like a child because the two are not related, and indeed they are not. But the girl, was the one who said the same rules should apply to both situations. Feminist logic, it's fucking